Welcome to another episode of the R+R Show. I'm Ronen.
Chef Russell.
And we're here to bring some fun into your home with some of the stuff that we do here in ZuZu.
We are doing one of our signatures here at ZuZu. Scottish salmon, glazed with a little umami sauce, forbidden fried rice, this beautiful citrus and orange and tomato salad. There's a couple steps to this. We're gonna start with our rice. We got some beautiful black forbidden rice here. It's one of my favorite rice grains. You know, you can go wild. You could use brown, white, any of those. So we're gonna go right in. It's about 1.5 cups of rice right into our pot, dry. Okay, we're gonna start this water from cold. This is just kind of room temp water. Don't need to heat it up, do anything like that. We're gonna just pour our water in. You know, it's about this rice is a kind of a 3-to-1 ratio. So if you're doing a cup of rice, 3 cups of water, something like that. We're gonna give that just a little.
And this rice, I noticed you didn't rinse, so this is one of the ones that has a little bit of a lower starch, or?
Right. You know, always not a bad idea to give things a little rinse. This rice is very clean, very low starch. But if you're using a Cal Rose or a brown or something like that, you definitely want to give it a little bit of a rinse. When you're making fried rice, a couple things to remember. You can go over on the water a little bit. When you're cooking rice for fried rice, you want to actually overcook the rice. It overcooks, then when the second stage of this is we're going to spread it on a sheet pan, we're going to put it in our fridge uncovered, and it's going to kind of dry back out and kind of continue to be cooked. And we're gonna just bring this up slow to a boil. We're gonna set it back over here on our burner, let that cook 40 minutes. Again, a little extra water is good. You don't wanna go under the water. More water, the better when you're doing it for fried rice. But we stick to about a 3-to-1 ratio on this. So while that's getting going here, we're gonna jump into a couple sauces for this. One, fried rice sauce. Ronen, I'm gonna have you kind of whip that one together for us.
Talk about our ingredients.
5 ingredients in this one. And this is just more of a seasoning for our rice when we go to finish this. We've got a great soy sauce. We use gluten-free soy sauce across the board here at the hotel just to touch those allergies and make sure people are taken care of. A little bit of rice vinegar, a little mirin, a little water to just kind of simmer down the salt aspect of this, because you know, when you use a lot of soy, and chili paste is our 5th ingredient, but when you're using a lot of soy product, you just gotta watch that salt. So we add just a little water to kind of slow that part of it down just a little bit.
I'll mix that up.
Yep, so we're just gonna whip that up, and it's about 2 parts soy, 1 part rice vinegar, 1 part mirin, and then as much chili paste as you like. I like, you know, to go nice and spicy. That's the way I like it. Perfect, so we're whipping that together. I'm gonna take our rice off our little burner here. I'm gonna set it back on the back stove here. Let that kind of finish cooking over here. And we will jump into the next sauce. Put that little on the burner, about medium heat. Next sauce, this is gonna be our glaze for the salmon, right? We've got lots of beautiful ingredients here, lots of aromatics. You know, think like a honey, brown sugar kind of honey, you know, garlicky kind of glaze, right? Like we've all had at home. But we just kind of took that idea and that concept of that kind of sugar glaze and made this great umami forward sauce.
The salmon dish is something that anyone can make at home because all this stuff is super easy to get.
Absolutely. First off, we're gonna put just a drop of oil in our pot. We're just gonna toast up our aromatics just ever so light, just in a drop of oil. So garlic's gonna go in first. Okay, garlic you gotta be careful with, right? If it heats up too high, you will burn that, and you might as well just start over. Okay, ginger goes in, good amount of ginger. It's a couple tablespoons, nice fresh chopped ginger.
Smells so good.
And again, we're just gonna give that a little oil to help kind of get that caramelized. Don't be afraid. Main thing here, do not burn that garlic. Okay, if you burn it, again, start over. Don't even go there because it gets very, very bitter. You will not enjoy the flavor that's gonna come out of that if you burn that garlic. All right, we got our stuff cooking. Everything's toasting up real nice. I'm gonna hit my soy sauce in. We're gonna turn the heat down. Okay, and we're just adding ingredients now. We don't wanna reduce anything. We're gonna simmer, okay? we're just adding in all of our beautiful aromatics. Sesame oil. I'm gonna put a drop of that in now. We're gonna finish the rest of that in towards the end. Chili paste. Ron, you got a spoon right there. You wanna throw that in there for me?
I love this stuff.
Togarashi. Perfect.
I'm gonna use this spoon to mix it up.
Yeah, go ahead and use that spoon. Give it a little stir. Now what we're looking for here is we are going to just incorporate all of our sugars, bring everything together. I'm gonna get that in there just like that. Man, it smells fantastic. Again, guys, there's no secret trick to this sauce. It is.
This is gonna reduce down.
We're not gonna reduce it.
Not reducing it down.
No, we're gonna bring it up to a boil. Maybe let it simmer just a minute to let those aromatics, again, toast in, get really, really nice. And then we're gonna make a little slurry to help just thicken this just to exactly where we want it.
Love it. It smells amazing.
Let's grab our whisk right there, Ronen. Let's give that a little whisk. We're gonna turn that heat up. Beautiful sauce. Again, we're gonna kind of whisk in our sesame oil a little bit later because you don't want that beaded oil sitting on top. So we're gonna let that just kind of incorporate. When we had our slurry, we'll get our sesame oil in. So yeah, this is really the star of this dish, and what kind of makes it, it really kind of glazes that salmon, and you'll see that here coming up in a minute. We're gonna sear our salmon, we're gonna flip it, glaze it with this beautiful lacquer. So we're gonna bring that up. Ronen, we got another bowl right here. Let's throw together a little slurry. Okay, just add a couple little drops of that just to kind of bring it together. There you go.
Ready for me to dump it in there?
What's that?
Ready for me to dump it in there?
Nope, leave it right in that bowl.
Okay.
Right in that bowl. It's gonna kind of, you want it to be kind of thick. Put your fingers in it. It's kind of has this like kind of tacky, this tackiness to it. We've had this dish on the menu here for now for what? About two years, 2 seasons. We were kind of searching, maybe 3 seasons now. We were kind of searching for a dish that people recognized, people, loved. I think salmon's one of those dishes that you go to a restaurant for, and then, this was kind of our take to that. We went through a couple different ones, and we found this one, and man, people have just loved this dish.
It's, when it's 75 and sunny or it's 100 degrees outside, it is very, very versatile. It's one of those things, like you said, you've kept on the menu for a few seasons.
So we're starting to come up to a little boil here. Just gonna keep that whisking up. Again, we're bringing this to a boil to get our sugars all combined, get our honey melted, get all those aromatics kind of coming together. Turn that heat down just a smidge. And we're going to give this a quick slurry. You can see, almost came up and over there. All good. Bring our heat down just a smidge. Don't be afraid to just pull it off the heat, guys.
It smells delicious.
Let it kind of calm down a little bit here. So once it's at a boil, we're gonna add our slurry to this in just 1 sec. We'll let this calm down. All that sugar's just kind of caramelizing, which is all good stuff. All right, we're gonna add our slurry. Drizzle it in as you're whisking. You can see it kind of ribboning up, getting nice and tight. We're gonna add a little bit of sesame oil back into this. Beautiful. Bring our heat back up just to kind of get it there. Again, lots of sugar, lots of honey in this. You can see how fast that kind of came up once it started boiling up on us. No big issue, right? You just got to keep your eyes close on it. It's a very easy sauce to throw together. We throw our slurry in. Everything's coming together. Get this beautiful glaze here. See, it's starting to come back up again. I'm just going to pull that off. And this sauce is done, guys. Okay? You can let that bloom in your pot. You can let that just kind of chill out. But again, this is our umami sauce.
When you're storing that, can you store that in the fridge?
Yep.
Hold for a while.
Once it's made, you store it right in the fridge, and last you a good 2-3 weeks. But again, beautiful consistency. Got a few little chunks in there. Nice spice. Very, very vibrant. See how it coats the back of the spoon? We call that nappe. Delicious. Right where we want it. All right, next up we're going to get into our salmon here. We'll get cleaned up just a smidge and get into our salmon.
Love it.
Beautiful piece of salmon here, guys. We've got a little napkin here we're just going to dab that off. Want that fish nice and dry, especially on our sear side. That's just going to give it a little more opportunity to get that crusty kind of sear that we're looking for here. Okay, got my pan here, nice and hot. Okay, we're gonna season this, but not too aggressively. Okay, we've got a lot of soy and, like I said, all that kind of glaze and the rice. Like, everything's gonna be salty. And when you're cooking, you got to think about that. Is you got to get through about 10 or 12 bites, 15 bites of a dish. So if everything's seasoned heavily with salt, you're gonna be over salted, and by the time you get halfway through, you're gonna be sucking down water like you can't even get enough. Oil in our pan.
Do you ever try to use different types of oils or for butter, or what do you guys use in ZuZu?
I love, we use just extra virgin olive oil, and then we use a kind of a blended extra virgin with canola is kind of our two go-tos. But grapeseed oil is great, avocado oil is great. I love cooking with lard or ghee or clarified butter. Those are the such high smoke points. You can really cook hard, and you don't burn that oil. So again, beautiful piece of salmon. We're gonna make sure our pan's hot. You can see that oil is kind of beating around and down. Not too hot, just below smoke point here. We're gonna drop that in away from us so we don't splash anything. I like to give it a little press. Use the back of your hand. This is a pro tip. You can feel the air bubbles underneath the salmon. The more you can press those out of there, the better off, the harder and more even your sear is going to be. Okay, so we got that thing kind of going, not too high. I'm going to turn that heat up just a smidge.
And you cook on the skin side up first.
Right. This is the skin side. The other side, presentation side. Always start with your presentation side. In the restaurant, we do that because again, it's you want that thing laying down on the top. It's perfectly seared. It's glazed. It's right where you want it to be. Again, there's no real trick to this, guys. You can see the heat. You can hear it hit the pan. It's caramelizing. It's going a little slow, which is okay. If you go up too high, you'll see it. The smoke comes out. You start burning the edges of your fish and stuff like that. But you definitely can just kind of manage it as we go here.
What would cause it to stick to the pan?
Not hot enough, or water. Again, why we dab the top of that thing is we want to make sure that the water is off of our fish. So again, the water, you got a really wet piece of fish. A lot of people ask me about scallops at home. Like, I'm having a hard time cooking my scallops at home.
They hold a lot of water.
It's because they hold a lot of water, right? And you want to get those good dry packed scallops. I'm gonna move this over to our other burner here. Ron, grab me that fish spot that's right over there for me, sir.
Yes, chef.
We're just gonna take this. We're gonna kind of look at the bottom, see how we're doing. One trick too, if you notice that your fish is sticking a little bit, which this one's not, but if it is, let it sit. Don't move it. Okay, the more you start messing with it and moving it around, the more that it's gonna stick. You start ripping it. Okay, eventually it will release. It will let itself off once it gets that sear. But you can see that beautiful kind of golden sear. We're not going too long. But again, you want to get that beautiful sear kind of sitting right on top. We're gonna let that cook, continue cooking through a little bit. Then we'll start glazing it with our umami sauce. Okay, I'm gonna throw another pan here. We're gonna get our fried rice going next. Fried rice, high heat. Okay, move it a lot. You want to kind of toast everything fast. A lot of Asian cooking or Thai cooking, high, super high heat, and you just got to be careful. You got to move those things fast, move that pan quickly, and get it off the heat because, man, it just goes quick, and that's what you want. So again, we're gonna let this get hot. You can see our fish here, it's cooking kind of, you know, the inside's gonna be nice and rare, raw still, but the bottom's kind of searing. You know, take a little bit of that hot oil, you can kind of brush up the sides just to get everything moving a little bit. Get all that stuff kind of coating and glazing. We'll add our umami sauce here in just a minute and let that start glazing. You can do this all the way in the pan. You can go into an oven as well. You know, at this point, you'd pop it in a 350 oven, let it kind of roast off a little bit, and then we would, you know, kind of finish it with the glaze. Now, if you go too early on the glaze, you're gonna burn the sugar, and now you're dealing with a mess.
Yep.
This pan's super hot. I'm gonna turn it down for now because I don't want it to get any hotter. Ginger's gonna go in our pan. Okay, carrot. We hold our ginger in a little bit of oil just to keep it from oxidizing. So I like to use that oil right in. Okay, again, more flavor, the better. Okay, you can see this thing toasting up real nice. I'm gonna turn my heat back up. Again, we'll just kind of move that stuff. All right, at this point with the salmon, I'm gonna take a towel. I'm just gonna dab some of our hot oil out of here just to get some of that out. Just like so. Then I got my umami sauce here. And I'm gonna just start lacquering that over the top. You can see the shine that adds. You can see that. We're gonna let that sit in our thing here. If you notice that the sauce down in the pan starts to get a little sticky or tight or black on you, add a drop of water. It'll help just kind of keep it from burning too much. But all that's good flavor, guys. Okay, we'll turn that down just a little bit more. Okay, back to our rice. We're gonna get a little bit of garlic in here. Okay, we use sliced garlic for this. Okay, let that kind of come back up hot. All right, now that we're at this point, I'm gonna add in my rice. This is cooked, that beautiful cooked rice that we did. We chilled that down and dried it out because now we're gonna fry it up. Okay, we're gonna let that sit, do its thing, and then I'll show you how we're gonna incorporate the fried rice sauce in towards the end here.
Okay.
You can see that salmon, it's just continuing to glaze. We're just gonna kind of turn that pan, gets all that kind of sugary caramel glaze down there. We're just gonna keep kind of throwing that over the top. And that's just looking fantastic in our pan right there. All right, rice is toasting up. Man, really smell that fragrant rice and all those aromatics. Third part of this dish is our little fresh salad. Okay, you can see over here, scallion, grapefruit, cherry tomato, navel orange, some fresh little shaved watermelon radishes, and some red Fresno chilies that are just sliced down at the end. Tossing that together. We're gonna finish that with just a drop of oil and just a pinch of salt. Not too much salt, but want to get that in there to help kind of bring out the aromatic, bring out the flavor. Salt's just a flavor enhancer, right? It just literally is meant to just bring flavor out. You can see that rice starting to fry up really, really nice. All right, this rice is looking hot. Some of it starts to jump around like popcorn. Which means you know you're close. That rice is frying up. See all those beautiful little aromatics in there.
It smells so good.
So right about this point, we give this another minute. It's back to our fried rice sauce. That was the soy, sambal, rice vinegar, mirin, and a drop of water. We're gonna use this as our seasoning here. You notice I didn't add any salt to this. This is gonna be our salt because nice hot pan. We're gonna just add a little bit of that, pull it off the heat, okay? All that rice that's been blooming just absorbed all of that liquid, and there's your seasoned up fried rice. Okay, so we're gonna take that right out of the pan. We're gonna put, kind of frame our plate, frame our beautiful salmon with that. I'm gonna take this beautiful piece of salmon. Okay, we're gonna take that beautiful piece of salmon. We're gonna lay it right in. You see that sugar just dripping off of there. Beautiful piece of salmon. Get that out of our way. And then we're gonna take this beautiful little salad and we're gonna kind of finish that over here.
Like all the different textures, you know, the crunchy fried rice, the just buttery, delicious umami salmon, and then you get like that Arizona citrus and the little bit
just
cut of the, you know,
all that beautiful acid from the from the grapefruit and all that different kind of balanced flavors. And that's our dish, guys. We're gonna finish with just a pinch of sesame seeds over our piece of fish there.
Beautiful. Chef. Well done.
Umami glazed salmon, forbidden fried rice, a little Arizona citrus salad, tomato, Fresno chilies, spice, sweet, all the different stuff going on. Acidic, glaze, all these fun textures and things going on.
Chef, that's amazing. Looks great.
Thank you, sir.
Please come try it at ZuZu. If not, we just helped you figure out a way to make it at home. Thank you for watching another fun time for the R+R Show. Ronen.
Russ, enjoy,
Cheers.
guys.